What is going on, guys? This is Steven from the BS Show. Sorry I'm a little sick, but even with this little sickness, I prevailed throughout the weekend. It was a great birthday weekend. I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to my buddy and brother, Brett Bryant, and to all my friends and family that came to my birthday party. I know I'm 28. Why am I throwing a birthday party? But it was for the UFC fight. So we decided to get a little Donald Trump pinata, blindfold herself, put some boxing gloves on, and break it up. And it was a great weekend. But once we got to those fights, it was a great card. Oh my God, it was one of the best cards I've seen in years. Maybe the best card I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of cards, so I don't feel comfortable putting it at number one just yet. But it's definitely up there in my top three. But after the whole fights happened, that post-fight brawl happened, with Khabib jumping the fence, eagle kicking Dylan Dennis, and then after that happened, it was this chaos. Khabib's team was jumping into the cage, punching Conor McGregor, and it was just ridiculous. Everything that happened, it was chaotic, and the whole time I couldn't help thinking to myself, like, there's 20 years of building this sport up down the drain. But to my surprise, waking up this morning and watching all the ESPN analysts talk about the post-fight brawl, no one really had a problem with it. I found that quite suspicious, because usually Stephen A. Smith jumps on every little thing. He's the one who's notorious for talking smack on any little thing that happens in the sports world. And then I got to thinking a little more, and I'm like, didn't the UFC just sign a deal with ESPN, a 5-year deal, 30 television events? That's a little suspicious. Usually the ESPN formula is half of the guys are for something, half are against. So you have a little back and forth. It's a formula, whether the guys feel like that or not. The analysts on the shows, They set it up where there's a little back and forth, you know. So how come on this event everyone was on the side of the post-brawl? Something that should really be combated in some sort of way, I feel. And maybe it's because they did just sign that deal with ESPN. It's a little interesting to me. Yeah, it's a little sketchy that these analysts that we watch aren't really speaking their mind. I feel like they all have agendas, and that may seem obvious to some people, but I know it's not obvious to everyone, because these guys truly feel like when they talk about this stuff, they're full-heartedly invested in what they're saying. But just like actors, these guys are scripted in a way. Maybe not scripted word for word, but I think the producers are like, hey, I want you to be on this side of it before this, and I want you to be against this, and you guys do the rest. In this event, the post-brawl, I could have swore there was going to be some hatred or some distaste towards what happened, but there really wasn't, so that was very confusing. But, you know what I mean, I think ESPN just had an agenda to keep the UFC looking good and making this better than it really was. You know, they compared it to Ron Artest jumping in. They said it's not as bad as Ron Artest fighting a fan, or Mike Tyson versus Holyfield. They kind of underplayed the whole thing, which is fine with me, because I love MMA and I want it to stay in good regards. So, I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you find it a little fishy that ESPN wasn't too against the brawl after UFC 229, or do you think they were being fair? You think that the brawl wasn't that big of a deal? Me personally, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. There was some real animosity between these two fighters. So yeah, Khabib just got out of a fight. His adrenaline was high. He had some aggression, and he wasn't done. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.